Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Katie and today we are going to be creating a single page layout using the Jingle Joy collection from Close to My Heart. So the Jingle Joy collection can be found in the new November-December catalog, and the inspiration piece that I took from was page 4. So I pretty much followed the exact same layout. I did change up a few elements. This little piece right here, I used a different stamp set. I also used a different tag down here in the corner. And then instead of the gold embellishment thread, I decided to use some baker's twine that I had in my stash that I thought went well with this collection. So here's kind of the base of the actual layout. I have went ahead and cut everything out. So here are the strips that kind of go all the way across. I just cut them out at 1.5 inches, and then you can kind of see right here I did distress them a little bit. So I went ahead and used my Cricut distressing tool, and I used this side right up here. The background, like I said, I did change the stamp set because I used the Jingle Joy scrapbooking stamp set on the whole layout. I do believe that that little star that is in the inspiration piece is from the card making one, but I just went ahead and used the items that I had. A couple of the other elements come from here as well. The title right here, a couple of the trees, the ornament, and that cute little star right up there as well, all came from this stamp set. And I really like the idea of using one stamp set with multiple layouts, or with a layout, not using multiple sets of stamps with a layout. I just think you get more bang for your buck that way. So I went ahead and did everything with that one stamp set. So the background is in the green, which is the evergreen color, and I did use the lighter side of that because remember, Close to My Heart paper is double-sided. Then I mounted a white sheet of paper that I cut about 1/4 of an inch or 1/2 of an inch less than. And then I went ahead and kind of random stamped the background as well. I didn't do the whole page because most of this will be covered. And I used the little star that is in the Jingle Joy scrapbooking stamp set as well. And then I'm going to go ahead and just kind of lay these pieces down. Again, I cut them at 1.5, and then I originally had them all cut at 10 inches. And then when I laid them out, I just kind of staggered them and cut an edge as well. So they kind of go in a fun little staggered look. It's not perfect, it's not cohesive, but it definitely gives a fun little whimsical look, which is what I'm going for. On the inspiration piece, they have a sewing element on the back of this, and I decided to not go for that as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and use the ATG gun and go ahead and kind of get this laid down. Again, there is no real measuring. I am just kind of making sure I get one edge lined up on the side and then just kind of going down from there. And I did go ahead and distress every piece of these strips of pattern paper. And I'm also going ahead and just kind of following their paper as well. So I'm just using the same pattern that they did. So the stripes, the hearts, this gingham, I believe is what it's called, and then the polka dots and the trees. So that is pretty easy assembly right there. And I'm making this all flat. I'm not raising any of this with any kind of dimensionals or anything. I'm just kind of keeping it flat. And then you can kind of see all that middle that had no stars on it. It really doesn't matter because it got covered with all this beautiful paper. So what I really liked was the title page. So it's just that stamp set and thin cut right here that says Just Believe, and it has some really fun glitter effect to it. So what I did is I used the diamond color stickles, and after I stamped and punched it out, I went ahead and added that little bit of stickles and glitter to it. So I just think it just adds such a cute effect to it as well. So this will go roughly here, but I just wanted to show you guys real quick kind of a tip that I learned from just experience, I guess. Make sure that your ink is fully dry after you stamp. Otherwise, when you add the stickles, I think you can see it right there, you do get a little bit of bleeding. So my advice is when you stamp and cut this out, just to let it dry for quite some time, then add the stickles, and then of course let the stickles dry as well. So I have had these stickles dry overnight, so these are definitely able to move and I can touch them and I don't have to worry about the stickles going everywhere. So this will go roughly right here. But I think what I want to do first is go ahead and actually get the photo area mounted. What I thought was really cute is it used quite a few different papers as well. So it kind of gives this real fun, colorful effect too. It brings out all of the colors that are in this paper pack with the mounting of the photo. And I went ahead and I'm just going to use a 4x6 photo as well. So this is 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, just to kind of give that fun added edge to it. So even though this is kind of wonky with the way it's setting or it's put on each other, it will still give a real fun border effect as well when you put the photo down. So here's just kind of a photo mat. So when you actually do get the photo down, or when I get the photo down, it'll have that real fun border. Then there is a strip of flamingo as well. And I'm going to go ahead and make sure that the bright side is up. So that went roughly over here, just kind of behind the green, just kind of tucked behind. Adds another little pop of color without using an entire 4x6 cut of that paper. So it's kind of that little strip, and most of this area kind of gets covered with the journaling tag anyway, so it doesn't matter that that little part is hanging off. So under here is this really cute element. So this is part of the tags that come in the collection. There's always some kind of component that comes with all the collections with Close to My Heart. So this one are some really fun black chipboards with all this like nice white shiny embossingness to it. So I really like that. So this tag just kind of gets slid right under. I'm going to make sure I have those trees visible. I don't want to cover any of the trees because I think the trees are just such a cute little element. I'm going to go ahead, just because this is moving, I'm just going to tape this down just to kind of tack it down. Put that right there just so you kind of get a real good visual of what the whole layout will look like. So over here is a nice little cluster, and again they used the gold embellishment thread, but I'm going to go ahead and use this pink and white baker's twine. So this is from a couple of catalogs ago, but I thought it would be really cute because it kind of goes with it, that nice pink. There's really cute pinks in this particular collection. So I'm just kind of deciding what tag do I want. They have a tag that kind of has this topper, but I'm thinking maybe this one. I mean, both the tags kind of look really cute too if I would have cut that in some kind of pattern paper as well. I think I will just kind of go with what they had as well. I'll just go with that kind of topper. And this I do want raised, but I also want the twine to kind of go behind it. So I'm going to do just like I did in my last video where I kind of show you what I do when I want to make kind of swirls go around with either embossing thread or even this baker twine works as well. I just put a little bit of the tape down and then just kind of swirl it around and then put it back into that taped area. That way I can kind of manipulate it to being where I want it to be, but yet it still looks really kind of organic the way it fell down. Let's go ahead and cut off the excess. So then when this goes right here, you got these fun little whimsical swirls all around. I think I'm gonna get that one down a little more. There we go. And then there's that. So just going to add a little bit of the 3D foam tape to the back of this journaling tag. That way it can get raised. And in the photo, they kind of have it, I believe they have it going this way, but I think I'm gonna kind of angle mine this way, making sure I do not have any of this tape over the area that the photo will actually go on. to go ahead and get that little piece cut off. And then there's some really cute elements right here. There is this stamp and thin cut, which again, I added a little bit of stickles to. So that'll go roughly here. And then this tree, which comes with the stamp set and thin cut, has that really cute pattern right there. I cut that out, or I stamped that in flamingo as well. And that is going to go roughly here. So I think I'm going to glue this one down, but raise this one up. And I'm going to use some liquid adhesive for this one. And again, making sure I just get the bottom. That way, when I do have a photo, I can kind of tuck that in right to the back. Just using a little bit of the 3D foam tape to get the back of that ornament. Making sure it's not right there either. That way, when I do write on this little journaling tag, I have room. So that looks like that little cluster down there. There was a strip right here that I forgot to add. Right here, the zip strip. So I'm going to go ahead and get that added now. Otherwise, I will probably forget to add it completely. Just going to go ahead, lift that up, and I probably will be ripping a little bit of this, but again, it's going to be covered so no one will see it and no one will know. Being careful to not rip that part. There we go. It is always easier when you actually do it in the correct order, but we can always make this work. Just going to lift this all up because it's kind of under the sheet. There we go, got it under. And there we go. Then it goes all back down and no one will ever know that I initially forgot that little strip. So then I will put that right back where it was. And there you go, that's that super cute cluster. Just fluffing that guy up a little more. And then on top, again, that Just Believe, I'm gonna go ahead and use the liquid adhesive because I just find it easier for this type of element just because it is kind of thin. I could probably cut out some 3D foam tape and get that on there, but I think leaving this flat will be good. And then I will raise a couple of the other elements. So up top, there's a couple of trees, which again, I stamped and cut out prior. This time I did it in clover and the raspberry color. And I did add a little bit of the stickles as well. And I used the same color stickles on everything. So the diamond stickles. And with the diamond stickles, since they're white or clear, they kind of pick up the color of what you are using. So if you can only afford to get or only budget to get one stickles, my recommendation would definitely be the clear, just because it can take on the color of everything else. So I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of 3D foam tape that I kind of cut to raise those two pieces up. And just kind of add them right next to this sign. I think that gives a real fun, whimsical effect. Another little piece right here is another ornament, again with the raspberry color. And then I cut it out again ahead of time and then added some stickles. That goes right here. And then a little bit of, added black, since there is some black in this paper pack. I really like how the black just kind of adds a different effect to it and kind of just adds a nice bold texture to the whole page. up top, there are some little flagged elements. So this one right here is actually one of those pieces of chipboard. You can kind of hear that it's definitely a harder piece. This was actually quite longer, and I just cut off the top of it. The rest was just the paper from the paper pack. After I cut the strips, I went ahead and cut the tops off and dovetailed them. And then this piece is just that zip strip right there. So I'm going to go ahead and get that all layered down as well. Put this piece first. And again, just kind of going off of the page that is in the catalog, just because I just really liked it. So I kind of figured, why reinvent the wheel again? I've kind of been doing that lately just to kind of save some time as well. With scrapbooking, a lot of times my biggest problem is trying to figure out what to create. And with this, that's no longer the problem, because I'm really just kind of recreating what I fell in love with in the first place and making really cute pages that way, because that way it goes a lot quicker if I just go off of what I like versus spending a really long time kind of contemplating what I'm going to do, what I'm going to use first. So then over here goes these two elements, but again, they have that gold embossing thread. So I'm going to go ahead and use the baker's twine again, but this time I'm going to wrap it around a few times on my fingers and then just kind of, I guess, fluff it out and just tuck it behind there. And the reason I'm doing that is because I already laid down this sheet. So I'll go ahead, get some liquid glue on here, and then just kind of tuck it behind this area. And again, it's kind of wonky and organic and just gives a fun little whimsical effect. And then these pieces, I'm going to go ahead and use some cut up pieces of 3D foam tape as well, just to kind of raise them up. So that piece, I'm putting it down, but making sure I'm not going over the photo area, which I can see the photo is kind of crooked. Go ahead and get that fixed. Putting that piece down, and then this piece right here, kind of just putting that one off to the side. And this too was cut out with the clover color and then just added some stickles to it as well. Go ahead, get those pushed down. And let's see here. I do think that actually, oh no, we need some more bling. I'm going to take out a few pieces of the gold sequins because it looks like there's some little pieces of sequins all over, which I want to use all the gold ones. Different sizes. So these are the gold pack that Close to My Heart sells, and I just, again, I believe I went over this in a different video, but I just keep them all in this storage container that I got at Michael's. I should have probably picked these out prior. Just trying to kind of pick out some that are different sizes, because these do come in different sizes and then different tints of gold as well, and some clear kind of iridescent ones too. It's just trying to give a nice variety to this. And then a few over here. And I like how the variety pack is, how it comes with all different sizes and different colors as well. I think that's just a really good idea, and it's a good use as well. You can kind of mix up the textures. Let's see here, a couple big ones down here. I believe that's it. So we'll go ahead and get these glued down with the liquid adhesive, because I do find the liquid adhesive the best way, or the glue dots if you have glue dots available, but my glue dots are all gone. I used them all up, so I need to reorder some. Otherwise, glue dots work just as well. Just kind of adding them randomly throughout. And the liquid adhesive will dry clear, so no worries if you see a little bit of the white. So again, here is the inspiration piece from the catalog found on page 4. You can see we definitely took a lot of the elements and definitely recreated it, just used a little bit of different stamping, and instead of using the sewing effect on the background and the embellishment thread, I went ahead and used some other items just to add that extra pop of pink, because I really do like the pink in this. I know some people are really turned off by the fact that there's pink in a Christmas kind of paper pack, but I really like it. I think it's very cute and whimsical. So here is kind of my reimagination or rendering of the page 4 Jingle Joy single page scrapbook from Close to My Heart. Thank you all, as always, for joining me. Happy crafting, and I will see you all next time.